Hello and welcome to Fresh Perspectives. I have a big smile on my face because we've got a fun episode coming up today. My guests are Alisha Briggs and her daughter Ava Briggs from the Little Angels Animal Rescue. And they brought in how many cats today?
4, 5, 6.
6 cats, wow.
Oh, it might be 7. I think it's 7.
7?
6 or 7.
6 or, okay, there might be 7 here. Okay, we've got a studio full of cats here. And I'm so happy that we're doing this on the Saturday before Thanksgiving, the weekend of the big storm, but fortunately the weather is holding off for us here this morning, so that they were able to come up with, from Jamestown, with a whole bunch of cats. And they tell me that all of these cats that they brought with them today were strays that were rescued from the Mayville area.
Yes.
So I guess there have been a lot of articles in the newspapers about a cat problem in the Mayville area. I'm not sure that I would call it a problem. It's probably more of a problem for people that don't like cats, but a lot of them are stray and need homes, and some of the ones that they capture, they are feral and wouldn't be able to live with people. So they spay and neuter them, and have them spayed and neutered and vaccinated, and then set them back out. So do you think more of the cats in the Mayville area are just strays or than feral, would you say?
I would say more of the cats in Mayville are actually feral
really?
than strays. I very rarely catch friendly adult cats.
Oh, is that right?
He's one of the very few exceptions, Milo here in the
This
carrier.
one here. Yeah.
These guys were all kittens when they were brought in, which is why they're so social.
Oh, okay.
Because we were able to socialize them from a young age and get them to where they're ready for people.
Mm-hmm. And how old approximately did you think Milo was when you got him?
I think Milo is probably just about a year old.
About a year old?
Yeah, he's young, but he's a big old boy.
Okay, and that is Danny on your lap there.
Yes, Danny is from Elm Street, and he is a little more shy than the other kitties, so we've been working with him a little bit more. He's probably about 20 weeks at this point. He's fixed, he's vaccinated, he's been dewormed and flea treated and all that. He's just waiting for his forever home. He's actually been transferred to small companion advocacy team for the adoption process. So he's kind of just my foster right now, but it's just because he needs a little more one-on-one attention. How are you going?
He keeps trying to jolt.
And I think I mentioned that Ava's with you, didn't I?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Yeah, so you've been helping to socialize the cats,
Yes.
haven't you?
Yes.
Ava likes to take him to her room and, get him to cuddle with her.
And what happens
Danny?
is the first,
Yes,
first-
all of them.
All of them.
the first couple days they're like nice things, and then they start biting my face because they want more attention, and then I kick them out, and then I grab another one. So
Oh.
that's how the
Yeah,
system
well,
works.
sadly, I haven't mentioned this to the viewing audience before, but sadly, one of my beloved cats passed away over the Labor Day weekend. And, we miss him something fierce because he was a real sweetheart of a cat. I really admire you guys for doing what you do with the cats.
It's definitely hard to let them go after you foster them.
I know.
But you can't keep them
You
in a
wouldn't be
safe
able to keep them all.
Right, no, it wouldn't be safe or healthy environment
No,
to have them all in one
no,
place.
it wouldn't. I've seen, in past years, I've seen a few episodes of something called Hoarding Buried Alive, where people hoard animals, and it turns out to be a really horrible situation.
Yes, for everyone. Yep.
Because they can't afford to take care of the animals, and so it turns into a really bad situation.
Yeah, it's not healthy for the people or the animals when that happens.
No.
You have to know your limits and boundaries.
Right, right. Now, you actually went to one of the town hall meetings in Mayville, wasn't it, about the cat situation?
Yes, and they passed a TNR ordinance to make it, a law that's in place. And they contracted with Little Angels. They gave us a stipend so that we could go ahead and start getting more of these cats off the streets and fixed and vaccinated. And if they're feral, then we would tip their ear, have the vet tip their ear, not us. And then they go back outside where they were trapped at so that they can live out their days without producing more babies.
Because they're being feral, they're afraid of people.
Yes.
So that you wouldn't be able to place them in homes.
No, I do try to find them barn homes if I can, which recently I found one barn home. They're so scarce. The more people that, farmers and things that are willing to take in some of these cats, the better. It gets them off the streets. Gives them a home base.
What do you say, what kind of advice would you give to a family who lives out in the country a little ways? I know of certain situations that there are feral cats living in their barn, but they haven't been doing anything about getting them neutered and spayed and vaccinated. What kind of advice? They like having them there because they've been keeping the rodent population under control, but I've tried saying something about it to them, but they don't want to, they don't want to spend the money, but they're going to be overrun with cats eventually, and they're going to be inbred. And
yes, and that's what happened with his sister. It was severely inbred, and her name wound up being Peggy. She was born without a foot, and we ended up having to have her leg amputated so that she could, have a full life because she was getting sores on the stump that didn't have the foot. I would recommend that farms spay and neuter the ones that they have on site, and then obviously vaccinate them. And if our barn cat program is free, so if we have a feral cat that we couldn't return, we will give you a barn cat for free that's already spayed, neutered, vaccinated.
Oh, I see.
So it makes more sense for you to get one that's already spayed, neutered, vaccinated for free, that's not spreading disease or producing babies, than it does to continue to allow the ones in the barn to reproduce, inbreeding, and all sorts of other issues that you're going to run into.
Yeah, and there's a certain danger in not having cats vaccinated, especially for rabies.
Yes. Rabies is, it is fatal. They're not going to survive it. You could contract it.
Right.
The distemper, also known as panleukopenia, if a raccoon could walk through your, or a raccoon or a groundhog or anything to walk through your yard, you mean you're behind.
You covering the microphone? Were you up to no good?
Yeah.
It's important to vaccinate the animals for rabies because it is fatal for you and the animals. Distemper is fatal for the animals, and it will spread through the cats and kill them within a couple days. Adults have a better chance of surviving. Kittens, not so much.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
Yep.
You're looking at me, aren't you?
He says, I got in trouble.
Look at Lane. He's just like chilling against the side of the cage.
Should we let Mr. Guacamole come out for a minute?
Yeah, we got to give everybody some airtime, don't we?
Come here, Mr. Guac.
Don't be crazy.
You don't want to step on that. Okay, come here, buddy.
So you do think that the village is doing what it needs to for the cat situation? Then?
Absolutely. And Bust-I recently passed a TNR ordinance after I spoke with them about because they also have an issue with stray and feral cats in Bust-I. So they've passed the TNR ordinance so that they can get on top of their issues as well. I think
Now-
every town should pass one.
Yes, yes, they need to do something about it. Okay, now, would you like to tell a story about how Guacamole got his name?
Mr. Guacamole here, he is getting adopted.
Oh, yes, he already has been picked out by somebody,
Yes.
so
He's
he
a
is
Flame
not
Point-
available.
Yeah, he's not available. He's a Flame Point Siamese, and I took him to introduce him to one of my friends, and he jumped on their guacamole and wanted to steal it. So his name is Mr. Guacamole now. But avocados are very toxic to cats, so
Okay.
good thing
So
he didn't get it.
Do not let your cats eat guacamole. That's something for the viewing audience, a tidbit of information. I did not know that, but I've never seen a cat try to eat avocados.
Yeah,
though.
I don't know why he tried.
He probably saw that there was something in a dish,
Yes.
and
Paul's coming in a little bit.
mainly went to check it out to see if it was something that he would like. You know, a lot of times animals won't. A lot of times animals won't eat things they're not supposed to by instinct. I've noticed. One thing I've just noticed is guacamole has the blue eyes.
Yes, he
from
has
the
blue eyes,
sides.
orange tail, orange ears.
Well, you know, I remember the cat that this cat that we have now. When I went to pick out a cat, you know, to adopt it at the Thrifty Kitty. Hi, Guacamole. Hi. Is it okay if I pet you? Is it okay if I pet you? You have really soft fur and beautiful blue eyes. You're a sweetie. It's too bad somebody's already picked you out.
Oh, where are you going?
Lane, you don't need to go join guacamole. Okay?
Yeah.
You stay
Come
here.
here, buddy.
Well, at least the door is closed, so he
Yeah.
can't leave the room. Guacamole! Guacamole!
Where is he?
He's
over
way
in the
over
corner.
there. He's running back
Guac,
by
come
the
here.
black
Come
curtain.
Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. You little turd. We're going to give Kitten some camera time, okay?
Can I introduce Lane?
Yes.
This is Lane. He is a little bit of a crazy boy. As seen,
What did you say his name is?
Lane.
Lane. Okay. That's a pretty color. I always call cats that are that color blonde.
I call him creamies, or because I named a cat creamsicle once, and now they just call orange cats creamies.
Well, that is kind of creamsicle colored, isn't it? Yeah.
You playing with her hair?
Mom, no. I want
Really?
hair.
Come here, buddy.
So the meeting went well then when you spoke with the people at the town hall meeting.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And it's important to get the word out. You know, I did see a lot of discouraging comments online. Never read the comments. About, you know, oh, it's Mayville. They're just, you know, it's the fancy part of town. There must be the people from Stock Institution complaining about it. And I was like, no, nobody was complaining about it. There's a problem because people are calling me to help with these cats.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that, you know, it's a huge undertaking that needs to be addressed. So I went and addressed the village. I'm not from Chautauqua Institution, so obviously that's not what the issue was.
No.
But I went and addressed the village because, you know, we need to get on top of this problem before it gets even bigger and bigger and bigger, because that's what will happen. It'll just be more and more and more and more cats.
I have, you know, I haven't really had the experience myself, but I heard that cats were hanging around to be fed at the Tops parking lot?
They-
I've never really seen it. The only once did I see a cat near the Tops, and it wasn't even in the parking lot. It was out in the sidewalk, kind of in front of the bank, and it was waiting to cross the street. And the cat was looking both ways to check for traffic
Yes.
before it
That's
crossed the street.
so somebody comes at night and feeds them
Uh-huh.
at the bank now. It used to be at Tops now. Oops, excuse me. It used to be at the Tops, now it's at the bank.
Oh, okay.
And so they come out around 9, 10 at night
Around 9 or
to
10.
get food, and you'll see them. They'll be all over the bank. They'll be like on top of the drive-through window for the
Oh.
bank and in the bushes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Those ones are all fixed.
Oh, are
I
they?
fixed them last year before I even started with contacting the village about this issue. So they are fixed. They're vaccinated. Some of them trust me enough that I can touch them,
Uh-huh.
but a lot of them,
A lot of them are just feral.
yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you know if it was Mayville area people feeding the cats, or was it people? The
was-
one article seemed to suggest that people were driving from out of the Mayville area to feed the cats. Do you know if that's true?
It is. I spoke with the person that was feeding them at the bank. These cats do have a colony across the street where they're fed and taken care of. The issue that's happening is this person's coming from out of town attempting to do good, which I completely understand. They want to make sure these cats are fed. The problem with that is these cats are crossing this main road to go get these snacks, and they're getting hit. I had to have one eye removed because he was hit, and have his eye stitched shut
Oh, gosh.
because he was hit, and it took me months to catch him, to fix him in the first place, and then it took me months to catch him to get his eye fixed because he's feral.
Okay, so could arrangements be made for this person to feed them at the location of their cat colony?
I have asked her if she's going to do it, if she could, just donate food to the colony caretaker, and I'd be willing to.
Okay, so there's a colony caretaker in the village then?
Yes, specifically for those cats. And I've asked her, rather than feed them there, let's give them, food that you were going to feed them to the colony caretaker, and then they can continue to feed in a safer location.
So that they won't be crossing the street back and forth all the
Yes,
time.
I have not made contact with this person again recently. I don't know if they're still doing it or not. I can't force somebody to do it.
It would make sense for them to just get fed at their cat colony.
Yeah, rather than crossing
the street. Yeah.
Yes, and it's the bank will not let me trap there.
Oh, won't it?
They will not. They will not let me put signs up. They won't let me trap there.
Somebody's purring.
Yes, it's Lane.
All of a sudden, I heard this loud purring. I wonder if the viewing audience could hear it.
Probably.
Probably, it's
In-
probably Lane.
In
This is my big moment.
Yeah.
He's ready to sing the song of his people.
Yeah.
No, you're not going down
This
there.
guy was caught actually across the street from Chautauqua Sweets.
This one.
Yep. Come here, Milo. Here, bud.
Lane, chill.
You're a big boy, aren't you? You say you think he's about a year old.
Yes, he's young. He wasn't spraying things when I got him, so he wasn't quite old enough to get in that trouble. What are you doing?
Mom, he just
He's
collapses
very
wherever he
lovable.
goes. He just collapses in certain once you start petting
We're
him.
gonna cover her tablecloth in cat hair today.
Yep.
But yes, he is super lovable. He's never tried to bite me. He doesn't even play bite, even if we're playing, scratch the belly, anything like that. I'll be careful
that's
to do it
nice.
right now, though, because he did just get neutered on Wednesday, so he's got his tattoo on his belly right now that they give him. They tattoo their bellies to
Wow. He's
hold on,
a
buddy.
lively one, isn't
show.
he?
Yes. Let's see if we can find it. See that there's a green tattoo on his belly, and that shows that he has been neutered.
Okay. So that's permanent, that tattoo?
Yep.
People will always be able to tell that.
It's very light, and you have to shave their belly to do it, which is why we tip the ears on ferals, because we can't really pick up feral cats and shave their bellies.
Milo.
It's a little risky.
Yeah, yeah.
But he is just a love bug, and he is ready to go home now because he's had his vaccines. He's been dewormed. He's been neutered.
Well, you know, some cats do what they call bait and attack, where they'll roll over on their back and look like they want their belly
Yes.
to be rubbed. But then if you do, they'll claw the heck out of you.
I have one like that, and his name is Lucifer.
Is that why you call him that?
Yes, you're also only allowed to pet his head about 3 times before he bites you.
Yeah, one time I was walking down the hallway and he literally jumped up, and I'm like, he's a Maine Coon, so he's big. So he jumped up and he almost scratched my face.
Oh my gosh.
And I have to carry I used to have to carry like a hanger or something around so I could like swat him out of the way so I could walk.
So he would jump on her head every time she'd try to walk through.
Oh God.
He wasn't really trying to hurt her. He was just like, come here.
It was a game that he was playing
Yes.
with her. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes if you walk past a cat, and they happen to want attention, but you're busy, so you're just walking past them. Sometimes they'll jump up and grab your leg with their front legs
Yes, that's-
to try to stop you.
That
yeah.
is what Lucifer does. This guy, he drools when he's happy.
Somebody in there has been reaching out
Yes, that's
to
Gus
grab
Gus.
grab his foot with one of their front feet.
That's Gus Gus.
That's Gus Gus. Here, I'll show Gus Gus.
But yeah, he doesn't bait and trap you. He just wants more pets. He doesn't know how to just lay still
No.
to get pets, though.
This one?
Yes. He doesn't understand if you lay still, you'll still get pets.
What he does do is whenever he's just likes to follow you for like 3 steps, and then he'll just plop.
Yeah.
Right in the front where you're walking. He likes to do it, especially in doorways.
He also drools when he's happy.
Oh yeah, my cat Leela drools when she's being cuddly. Yeah.
That's what he does.
They say it has
Yes.
something. I read somewhere something about that one time. Oh yeah, that gray one that there's a picture on. He did it too. Something I read in a book about cats one time was they do that because when they're being petted, it's kind of like, and they do the thing
biscuits.
like this. They feel like they're being nursed by a mother, you know. So
No.
so that's why they drool. That's what I heard.
Are you a fancy biscuit maker?
A biscuit maker. I call it the milking motion.
We call it making biscuits because they're kneading the dough.
Oh, yeah. Gus. Oh, gosh, you're so cute.
I love his belly. He's got such a
Look at the
unique belly with just a
look
little
at the
dot.
pattern on that young man. Come here, Gus. I want to pet you. You have really soft fur, too. You said this is the one that's been getting eye drops?
Yes.
No, don't jump off the table, honey.
He's recovering
Gus.
from an eye infection.
Milo.
Here you guys go.
Gus and Milo. Hey, come here. Come here, Gus.
Nope.
I can't resist. I'm gonna have to pick you up and hold you because you're so cute. Whoops, he jumped. You don't know me, do you? You
Gus,
don't know
Gus.
me.
Gus, come here.
I'm a stranger.
He says, stranger danger.
You know, they look like they could be related, don't
I know,
they?
but they're from opposite ends of town. So
Wow.
Yeah, they'll just sit here and do nothing. And just start making biscuits.
You know, another name you could have given him is White Socks.
Yes. He's got on this leg, it's all the way up.
Milo.
On this leg, it goes all the way up the arm on the underside.
Oh.
He's got, both of them have unique color markings.
Yeah, they're both very beautiful. They look a lot alike. Don't
Gus,
you?
Gus.
Come here.
He's like, yes, yes, yes.
Yes. All the attention I can get. I'll take all I can get.
Hi, Gus.
Yes. You are so energetic, aren't you? Yes, you are.
When they rub their face on you, it's said that it's because they're putting their scent on you.
Oh, I know.
So
Claiming
you're
claiming ownership. I think if they pee, they mark their territory by peeing too.
Yes.
And I know My one cat named Silver that I had for many years, he would do that. He would urinate on the tires of people's cars when they came to visit.
My cat Coconut, when I got home from feral clinic where I took 10 cats to a clinic and a lot of them were male, so I smelled like spray.
You smelled like it.
He came up and I was laying across my bed, which was not smart in the first place because I smelled like spray, but I was so tired.
You laid down.
Yeah, and he came over and sprayed me on my shoulder, and I was like,
Can I tell them what happened the other day? When you were bringing the trap in?
oh, yes.
Oh, wait, don't do that. I wouldn't want him to get hurt from jumping from a high place
Guys,
because
If I, the other issue when I do this is if I bring a cat in a trap in that's male, Coconut also goes over and immediately marks the trap with the cat in it.
Yeah, she had just changed the liner underneath it.
look at that
And-
leg come out.
But then she had to fix it again.
Yeah, I had just
Every once
given
in
him
a
clean
while-
bedding.
Yeah.
Once in a while, that leg comes out.
Wayne, don't do it.
He's like, I'm jealous.
You already got your turn.
Milo is just...
You are amazingly active.
He's just like, I'm not going to jump up, but I'm just going to sit here and roll around the table.
He can get his exercise just from
Flopping.
being petted. You know, all of the motions he goes through to be petted.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to hold still when he's getting pet. It's a thing.
You are so funny. You know that? You are a funny little honey. Oh, there. He just mooned me.
Oh, he's making biscuits.
And your name is Milo. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And he's ready for a family. Or a person. Coconut has been bullying him.
Uh-oh. So you want him to get away from the bully.
Yes, my cat is a bully.
Yeah. In fact, my cat's named Pilot, and I was trying to convince her to let him I was trying to convince my mom to let her take my cat, but she said no. Because he's a fat boy. But Coconut decides to bully my cat as well, so I have to have my cat locked in my room. And one of the foster cats decided that my cat was his dad, and now he won't leave him alone.
Yeah, they're always together. It's a little black kitten that just follows her cat wherever he goes.
Oh.
You know what? We got one more kitty to bring out. Let's bring out Kitten for a minute, okay? Oh, can you go in there?
Somebody
for me,
named
Milo?
that you're just calling Kitten.
Yes. Oh, Milo.
Milo.
He's like, no.
Do you want me to hold it tipped up?
Oh, I'm actually going to close that one and put him in this one.
Oh, okay.
Can I reach?
That's right.
You can grab Kitten. Milo.
These really are nice.
I
These
know.
these ones that open up on the top.
Yeah,
also.
it makes life a lot easier because you can pinch their feet together and plop them in. He's like, oh no, bamboozled.
My cord's behind you, just so you know.
Okay.
Did you have you heard any more about the Torby that
No,
got rescued from out by our place?
she was adopted, and sometimes they keep in contact with us, and sometimes they don't.
Some people don't.
Yes. This is Kitten. Kitten was found on Lawson Road, so not really Mayville. And
That's kind of partway between Mayville and Westfield.
yes, and her pads on both of her front feet were burnt, full thickness burns. So we took her to Faulkner Veterinary, and Dr. Mary Fales took good care of her. And
Do you think it was maybe burned from walking on concrete or something?
it
or-
was just a couple houses down from where the big house fire was on Lawson Road recently.
Oh.
I did reach
see.
out, and he didn't have any cats, just a dog, which, made it out with him. So my guess is that maybe she wandered over there to keep warm and got burnt.
Oh, okay.
Or she was wandering around out there and got burnt when it first caught on fire.
Yeah.
Either way, we got her feet taken care of. They're not, they're healed.
Oh, that's good.
She had to wear gauze paws for a little bit.
Gauze paws, yeah.
Gauze paws, huh?
You were bandaged up, weren't
Yeah,
you?
see, the front paws are all healed up. They're a little bit drier than normal, but
Does she behave fairly well?
Oh gosh, yes. She
Does she
is
really?
a cuddle bug.
Because some of the cats that I've known in my lifetime that were short-haired tiger-striped cats were like terrorists.
Oh no, she is a biscuit machine.
Uh-huh.
And she just loves attention. When you're trying to sleep, she'll come over and rub her face on yours until you pet her.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, she has 2 different colored whiskers?
Yep.
Oh.
She has
They're like
black
half-
and white whiskers. It's black towards the mouth and white on the ends. Huh.
Now, how can people get a hold of you if they need your help?
The best way is to either send us a Facebook message through Little Angels Animal Sanctuary's page, or to call the number that's associated with it, which is 716-224-2259. And please leave a message or send a text message to it, because I'm not always available to answer it right then. So if you don't leave a message, I will have no idea why you called. Right now we're primarily doing the Mayville area, because it's best to get through an area before you start in a new one, even within the village. So I haven't even gone through the whole village yet, because
Of Mayville?
yes,
Yeah.
because if I leave an area with unfixed cats, even one
Then
colony,
the problem starts to increase again.
yes, in the same spot. So the best, I do have one on Elm that I still haven't been able to get for the last 2 years, but I will get
there's
her.
a cat you've been trying to get for 2 years.
It's Danny's mom. She's a big old beautiful Siamese cat.
Oh.
But she is smarter than me, so we're still working on it.
I know. That's how it is with pets, with them being smarter. Well, they just know.
They know what I'm up to.
They know. They know. Now, our cat Leela, I remember when I went to the Thrifty Kitty to adopt a couple of cats several years ago. They had a cat that was part Siamese, about half, and it really, really looked a lot Siamese. It had that tan color and
Yes.
the blue eyes and everything. And I remember seeing that cat and I'm thinking, well, probably my husband won't want me to bring one of those home, because you read things about different cat breeds and you hear that the Siamese can be kind of noisy, really chatty. And so I've got this short-haired black cat that I did pick out.
And he's very noisy, isn't he?
She's
Very noisy.
She hollers at us continuously,
So her cat is all black, and he's like 14 pounds, and he chirps and trills and all day long.
Well, this cat is, towards my husband and me, very, very bossy acting. It's when she wants attention, and she'll just make a lot of noise. But you know what? It really hasn't bothered us. We think it's kind of amusing, actually. Yeah, she took it kind of hard when our other cat passed away. They had always been sleeping in our bedroom at night.
Yeah.
And for at least a week after he passed away, she wouldn't go in our bedroom.
Yes,
but-
they grieve too.
Yeah.
It's hard.
So, but then after that, she started going back in there again. But now she's wanting. Usually, she either slept on her own bed or on the foot of the bed. But now she is. Now she's wanting to sleep on my pillow with me.
Oh, yeah.
So she
That's
must.
kinda her.
She must really miss the other cat. It's been more than a couple of months, but now you were telling me a story before we started recording the program, and about what your Aunt Paula was having to do recently.
Yes, Paula is a volunteer with Small Companion Advocacy Team, and they're out of Jamestown. A 3-time Purple Heart veteran in South Carolina had passed away, and he loved his stray cats. He got them all fixed and vaccinated. He passed away, and then shortly after his wife passed away, and so there was nobody to take care of 20 cats. The neighbor there contacted rescues all between here and South Carolina and here, and Paula was the only one that was willing to take these cats. So, excuse me, the neighbor had a vet come out to the house in South Carolina, make sure everybody was up to date on their vaccines and healthy, and then the neighbor rented an RV and brought all of the cats up here in the middle of the big storm. They got here. Yeah.
Oh, they just, within the last few days?
Yes. So
oh my gosh.
About 2 days ago, they got here with an RV full of 20 cats. And we don't normally use the feral building for friendly cats, but with so many coming in,
you had to.
We had to. We cleaned the entire thing out. Cleaned it with rescue cleaner, which kills almost everything, and got it ready for these 20 cats to go in. It's insulated. It has heat. So as we can get them transferred out of there and into.
They're all adult cats, are they?
Yes. Most of them will be adoptable. They're not feral. They were just strays. So they won't be in the feral building for more than probably a week. But in the circumstances, it was the best option because we'd like to keep them together instead of separating them all over the place. Because when animals come in, they have to quarantine for 10 days. So we need to it's better for us to be able to quarantine them together than apart. She's like, I like you.
This is the one with that had burned feet, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We call her the burnt bean cat.
The burnt bean cat.
Because her beans were burnt.
And your name is?
Just Kitten.
Kitten.
Just Kitten.
Kitten.
We let the people that found her name her, but I don't think they really picked a name. They just kind of called her a kitten, so it kind of stuck.
If you're not going to adopt a cat, it's kind of hard to give them a name because then if you give them a name that you really like,
I know it's
did you
hard.
want to go back over to Alisha?
I was trying to name her Burnett, but Mom wouldn't let me.
Burnett, no. You make fun of your burnt beans.
Well, she's a brown cat, and she had burnt paws. It would have made sense.
Well, that was really nice of Paula to take in all those cats for a while.
Yes.
But they're all up for adoption then.
They will be shortly. They're not all up for adoption just yet, but they will be soon. We have to go through and microchip them all.
Oh, okay.
Because some of them look alike.
Some of them look alike.
So we got to make sure we get the right cats with the right records.
Oh gosh.
It happens a lot. If I get like a litter of kittens that all look like this and they're all the same sex, I have to have a microchipped right away so that I can tell which one's which.
When she was over here cuddling with me, it was really, really quiet, but I could hear this faint purring sound, I love the sound of a cat purring.
She's a very relaxed cat too. She's just kind of likes
Somebody
to be around.
else is purring, it sounds like in here.
This thing.
It's
One of
Lane.
these. The orange one in the back.
I know. You don't want to go back in there. I'm sorry. I definitely think it's important that people get their animals, spayed and neutered and vaccinated and keep them inside, especially if they're not microchipped, spayed, neutered, vaccinated.
Right.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that over the years we've collected up plenty of people's cats that people found that weren't fixed or vaccinated that were never claimed because they just didn't they didn't see where we were posting it when we found it. So it's unfortunate. I never want to be the person that takes somebody's pet, so I can't stress the importance enough to either keep your cats inside, which is preferred, or have them microchipped, make sure they're spayed and neutered, vaccinated. You know, and a lot of times we end up with litters from these houses where people had pets and they didn't get them fixed.
Right.
And then they're like, she only got out once. That's all it takes.
I know it. And they're so sneaky about it, you know. I mean, they can go right past you without you noticing. They know the right moment to do it when you're not really, they can tell when you're paying attention and when you're not,
Yes.
you know, I mean, they're...
Lucifer lost that guess, though, that gamble. We wound up having to have half of his tail docked because he got it caught in the door when he was slipping past us.
Oh.
So his tail got broken, so we wound up having to take him in for surgery and have his tail, part of his tail amputated. So they're not always right on point, but they know, they do know when to try to sneak out.
Yeah, they're they are little con artists.
Yes.
They are.
Especially Lane. He'll
Especially
wait.
Lane.
Yes, if you're eating, he'll wait till you're
Mhm.
not looking, and then there will be an entire cat on the plate. Not just, you know, other cats will go over there and try to paw it and try to steal it from you. He will just come out of nowhere and fly onto your plate. And the whole cat will be on the plate eating and growling.
Growling?
Yes, he growls when he gets a snack. He growls when he gets a toy.
Yeah, he had a toy yesterday, and I was just like playing with him. But I was like, who's growling? Who's in a fight? Who's about to fight? Assuming it was Coconut. It wasn't. It was him carrying a toy, and everyone was like leaving him alone, but he was still walking around the house, like, you know, prancing or whatever, growling because he didn't want anyone to take his toy, and then I tried to take it from him, and he guarded harder, and it was funny.
Yes, he's very resource guarding.
Yeah.
And then it was like a purr mixed with a growl after I was like playing with him, and it was funny.
Well, you know, cats can do some really interesting things. I think this was before we started recording the program that I was mentioning some of the things that Silver did. Like, he would always want to, I mean, he would get up literally from a nap if he saw me going out the door with a laundry basket full of laundry that I wanted to hang outside. And when the laundry basket would be empty after I'd hung everything up, he would jump in the laundry basket so that he could ride back to the house in the empty basket.
Baloo, that was here with us last time, as soon as we jingle the keys, because he likes to go on car rides. He's in the car right now with his dad. If we jingle the keys, he comes running to the door and sits there and waits.
Or the harness. If he sees the harness, he starts
Well, you said
trilling
that
and going crazy.
you said that you carry a litter box in the car and everything for.
Yes, he has a litter box with a lid that so it's a giant Rubbermaid container, and we take the lid off if he's in the car and make sure it gets scooped, obviously, and put the lid back on when he's not in it. And then he has food and water dishes too, and we make sure to lock the windows so that he can't unroll them, because we had that happen with a feral
really?
cat that I caught at Tops by hand, because I didn't have permission to trap her yet, so I just grabbed the cat.
And then we got down to Quickville, and next thing you know, the cat rolled down the window and just jumped out into oncoming traffic.
Yeah, she didn't get hit, and we wound up catching her again a week later, back up at Tops. But I was like, you just gave me the biggest scare of my life. I've never had a cat roll down a car window before.
Right. That was the last thing you were expecting the cat to do.
That was not what I expected, but it happened.
Well, you know, I remember when I was a little girl many years ago, we had those little cardboard milk cartons that we got in school to drink our milk out of. And at the time that we got Silver, this is another interesting thing he did. At the time we got Silver, we were buying concentrated juice in the containers that looked just like those.
Yes.
And then we'd throw them in the trash, and he at some point in time before we found him as a cat that apparently somebody had thrown out in our neighborhood, which is how he came to live with us, he must have been exposed to those little milk cartons. Maybe he was around by a school or something. I don't really know. But he would, when he'd see one of those in the kitchen trash, he'd take it out, and you'd see him walking away with carrying one of those little cartons in his mouth. It looked like a little kid it made me think of a little kid helping himself to a beverage.
Mr. Guacamole here likes to steal earrings.
Oh, earrings.
I was walking through the house the other day and I was like, what's in your mouth? He had one of my big hoop earrings in his mouth and he was walking away with it. And I was like, how did you even get that?
Yeah, like, wait, what? How does he?
He just picked it up with his mouth and took it.
Yeah, they will steal things.
Yes.
You know, I read something one time within maybe a couple of years back when I was reading a book about cat behaviors and things. And apparently some cats have something that's called pica.
Mm-hmm.
It's where they'll eat stuff that's not food.
People have it too.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know that. Trust me. I worked for the Resource Center
okay.
for 21 years. But, you know, I remember that. And it even said that sometimes they'll eat like cloth,
Yep.
you know.
And hair ties and cloth and then that's pretty risky when they do that. And sometimes they'll have, they'll pass away if you don't get them surgery in time to remove it from their
So,
digestive system.
right.
Cats are naughty and mischievous and sometimes don't know what's safe for them.
They don't know what's best for them, do
Yes.
they? No.
I want one.
Sometimes another thing that Silver used to do, we had this other cat that we'd already had for 7 years when Silver showed up at our house. And so he would, I remember I could be working in the kitchen. I could be at the kitchen sink doing something about preparing food or doing dishes or something. And I'd see him sitting on one of the kitchen chairs staring at me. Okay. You know, the first couple of times maybe I didn't get the picture, but a couple minutes later, I realized that he was in my bedroom trying to chase the other cat off the bed. You know, a territorial kind of thing. So, but I'd noticed that with other cats before in the past too, that they will do that. They will come and watch you and make sure you're too busy to notice because they have it in their head that there's something they know they're not supposed to do, but they want to do it.
Oh, they know. They definitely know.
So they check to see what you're doing, you know.
It's kind of the opposite of dogs. Dogs, they sneak up, but they know they're going to get caught and they're going to get in trouble. Cats don't care if they get in trouble.
They're just like,
they'll
whatever.
do it anyway.
Yeah, they'll do it anyway, and they don't care. Even if you scold them or talk to them, they're just like, eh.
Or ground them. We had some.
And some cats, a couple different cats that I've known over the years, maybe more like 3 or 4, actually will run to the phone when it rings.
Oh, I don't have any of those.
You don't have any that have ever done that. I don't know if they actually, and some of them will start meowing when they get next to the phone. So
maybe it's the high pitched sound.
I don't know what it is. I'm wondering if it's because they know that when the phone rings, we go to it and answer it and start talking. You know, so.
They, like at our house, if you click the button on the laser pointer, all of the cats are right there, right then. It's kind of like the sound of the food hitting the dish.
Or when you open the food container that we have with the food in, the next thing you know, there's all of the cats just staring you in the eyes, like,
are you
feed.
going to do it? Are you going to feed me?
Yeah,
but then you just fed them and you're trying to feed the other cats, and they're just sitting there like, and I'm sitting there like, the food dish is full.
Well, yeah. Cats, if they can get their hands on it, they will eat winter squash and pumpkin that's cooked.
See, I haven't had that happen.
They really seem to love that, and when they know you're doing something with something like that, they'll try to get some of that to eat.
I do put 100% pumpkin puree into some of the wet cat food sometimes for digestive issues.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't just given it to
okay,
them. I guess I
okay.
should try that.
Okay. Yeah, one thing that I found helps to keep cats dewormed is putting something called diatomaceous, food-grade diatomaceous earth, and powdered slippery elm bark in some moist cat food.
See, we put diatomaceous earth in the litter boxes.
Oh, you put it in the litter
Yeah,
boxes.
because it'll kill fleas.
It
and,
kills fleas, yeah,
and the,
yeah.
you know, flies and
Yeah.
things like that. Because I mean, during the summertime, there's always some type of bug running around that got in the house somehow.
Do you know if it'll kill ants?
I don't know actually.
Yeah, the last 2 summers that I've noticed, in this little sunroom that we've got, somehow ants seem to get, in the early part of the summer for a while, we'll have trouble with ants coming in there and trying to steal the cat food.
Oh, yeah. I
You
can see
know,
that. I have
well,
birds
they actually
stealing
do
mine.
steal it, actually, you know. You know, you'll see where it, if they get a hold of it, you'll see where it starts to look kind of porous, the dry food, you know, and
Yes.
like that. So then we have a difficult time because we have to figure out how to feed the cats, make sure there's not cat food sitting out between the times you feed them and everything. And,
You put it in put the bowl inside of a bigger bowl
Mhm.
and put water in the bigger bowl and,
And
then
and
put the
that-
cat food dish in the middle of that.
Uh-huh.
And then the ants won't make it to the food.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I guess I did hear something about that.
Yes. My problem is the birds were
Birds.
stealing my feral cat's food dishes. They were coming out there and landing on it and dumping it and flinging food everywhere.
Oh, God.
And I was like, what is happening? So I set a camera out there. It was
Is
birds.
was this at your own house?
Yeah, this is in Jamestown, yeah.
Oh.
I was feeding the ferals that were outside because I did end up fixing them all out there. But the birds, I couldn't figure out what was throwing the food everywhere. I put the camera out there. It was birds.
Oh, gosh.
I was like, that's not for you.
It's like squirrels eating the bird seed out of the bird feeders.
Yes.
Yeah, there was something on that I heard on the radio the other day about probably in the warmer months when the bears are not hibernating, you should probably keep if you live in an area where there's bear, to keep the bird feeders. Don't have them out during the warmer months when there's other things they can eat that's growing
Yes.
that time in season for them, because the bears are just going to come and get into them and break them.
Yeah,
And,
that's not uncommon.
I know we had a few beehives for close to 30 years. My husband and I did, and every once in a while a bear would ransack one of our beehives, you
Yeah.
know, so.
Free snacks.
Yeah, yeah. So, is there anybody you would like to show off again? We've got a little over 4 minutes left here.
Let's do Danny again and Milo or Gus Gus.
Was it
Gus Gus.
Come here, Mr. Danny.
After all, that's why you came along, wasn't it? Was to be shown off.
We need a house, huh? Are you grabbing Gus Gus? Oh.
Oh, do you know how to fix it, do you?
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
They come out of the clip sometimes.
It's because I was stepping on the cord, that's why. Guess go.
Mine came undone too, just now.
Gus Gus. Gus is a cutie pie, and so is
Danny.
Danny.
Danny, huh? He's
Yeah.
got big, beautiful round eyes.
He does. He does. He's got a very expressive face. You know, that's one of the things that I've always noticed about cats is they have all different kinds of expressions they get on their face.
They do.
That one that I keep talking about that we had for so many years named Silver, I mean, you could almost, it got to where you could just about tell when he was up to no good because he'd get this evil little expression on his face.
Yes. He likes to get up and chirp at you until you pet him.
Oh, does he? Danny
Yes.
does?
He likes to climb up on a shelf or the cat tree and then chirp at you when you go by to pet him.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna show him Gus.
Oh, this out of my face.
Gus. He is a cute little kitten. And how old did you say he is?
He's probably about 12 weeks at this point.
And the other one in here is
Lane.
sibling
Yes,
to
Lane.
Gus.
Well, we think so. I mean, they're not necessarily always siblings, but they came from the same place.
And they're about the same size.
Yeah,
then.
so we kind of guess.
Oh, yeah.
Hi,
So,
buddy.
so most of these cats are going to be up for adoption.
Everyone but Mr. Guacamole will be up for adoption.
Everybody
shortly.
except Mr. Guacamole.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Danny and Milo are both available now.
Okay.
They've both been fixed and had their vaccines.
This one's still, these two, the one
Still need
Gus,
to be.
Gus and Lane still
they-
need to get fixed.
And so does Kitten.
Kitten. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
because they're so young yet.
Yes.
What age should people get their kittens spayed and neutered in?
We do it at 3 pounds.
3 pounds. Oh,
Yes.
according to weight, not age.
Yes.
Okay.
I know. It's
No.
It's one of those balances where they're supposed to be, 3 pounds at 3 months, ish.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of times we're getting these cats from, outside and they had worms and they're underweight and they have to, get themselves back up to the right size first.
I saw you
Somebody
pop
likes
on
to
the
reach out and
Yes, Lane is very playful.
I see that. I think that's so cute when they reach out at you from someplace, like out from underneath a piece of furniture or something.
That
you
will
know.
be him. And Mr. Guacamole too. He's the one that likes to grab you and climb your leg when you're walking through the house, or give you a swat on the way through.
Oh, yeah.
Danny's like, "Are you holding another cat that's not me?"
Danny. Whenever you come
Oh,
over
don't
here,
I-
you run
they
away.
do get jealous of each other sometimes, don't they?
Yes, they do. They know.
Don't you do
Yeah.
it again.
He
It-
thinks
like
he's mine.
if you have more than one cat
Danny,
living
Danny.
with you and one of them is being petted and the other one notices, they'll be right there.
Yeah.
Danny.
This cat definitely thinks he's mine. He wants to snuggle in.
Yeah. Gus doesn't usually just sit here. Usually Gus is all over my face, but he's being okay. But like
Look at
when he
those
was jumping,
paws.
like when he pounced on this, I saw his eyes looking. I'm like, whatever. He's just looking at the camera cute. No, he like just there.
He's purring now.
Yeah, he's like, how come everyone else is out of carrier and not me? Because you don't hold still, Mr. Lane.
Yeah.
Danny.
It's kind of fun. It is just so cute to see a paw coming out from somewhere at you.
Hi, buddy.
Oh, gosh. Well, you know what? I hate to say it because I've been having so much fun, but we've come to the end of another episode of Fresh Perspectives, and I want to thank you so much for coming on today and not worrying about the weather, because we're doing this on interview on the 19th of November, the weekend of the big snowstorm. So
Kitty's weathered the storm.
they are good at that, aren't they? They are good at that. So anyways, I will see those of you in the viewing audience on the next episode.